Hello. Hi, everybody. I am going to attempt to keep this in landscape mode. So I had been researching earlier today how to keep this in the portrait, or no, landscape mode. And I'm hoping that this will work. So what I was told that if you start in landscape mode, it should stay in landscape mode. So that's why I'm holding this like this for a second, just to make sure we can make this work. And then I also am going to pull this up on my, whoops, sorry, covering the camera. I'm also going to pull this up on my iPad so that I can see what you guys are seeing. So let me just get that set up and wait for a few of you to jump on here, and then we can get started. But I just want to make sure that everything is working the way we want it to. All right, so it looks like, okay, I can see that. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead now and see if when I switch this, if it's going to keep it in landscape mode. So let me just do this. We're going to change the camera, and hopefully I won't shut off my phone. Let's see what happens here. You guys are on a little delay from me. This looks really crooked and not quite centered. Really bad lighting. Why is it so off? Oh, because that's in the way. Let me do this. Okay, hang on with me here for a second. We'll get it all situated. Okay, it looks like that is pretty good now. Let's see. I'm waiting for the delay here. How's everybody doing tonight? All right, I think this is working. Can everybody hear me okay? Hopefully. I'm very excited to do this first little class here for you. So the plan here is hopefully to do these once a month. And if you ordered with me earlier this month, then I sent you, and you use the host code. That's the key. You got to use the host code because that's what I use to get my mailing addresses. And then I will send you the little packs to do these little cards with me. All right. So we can go ahead and get started. So, as I said, if you ordered, I sent you, and you used the code from last month, or earlier this month, I should say, then I sent you the little card kits. And I'm featuring some products from the Picture Perfect suite. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you that out of the catalog here. This was one of the suites that didn't really appeal to me at first, but once I started playing with it, and once I saw this paper in person, it totally changed my mind. So I don't know if you can see that here. This stuff here, it doesn't look like much in the catalog, but it's really, really fun. So let me just show you that. So if you can see, one side is kind of patterned, and then the other side is photographic. So you get a pattern, and then you've got photos. So that's kind of the cool, not all of it's photo, but it's kind of like real photorealism. So it's kind of neat. I've got a whole bunch of stacks here. So you get 48 sheets, 4 of each design, but as you can see, I've got multiple packs together. So you can see that there's some really cute ones. This one we're using today, so I sent you all a little piece of that. Hi, Teresa. So it's really kind of fun to see all the different elements. Like, look at the little party hats. Aren't they cute? All right, and then we have, you know, just a variety of cute little patterns. And I'll show you some cards made with this stuff because that will make it really come to life. But look at the cute little bows, and I love this one, the presents. Wouldn't those be really cute to cut out and put onto projects too? So that's the paper we're using. And what I find a lot of times, I don't know if you're like me, but for me, I know I find that if I have too many products to work with, then I get an overwhelm and I don't know what to do. So what I did is today, I'm actually pulling from the catalog. You can see right here on the bottom of this page, the You Can Make It section. So what I'm doing is just pulling from this section. So I'm using Whisper White cardstock, the Perfect Party cardstock pack, which is the, where is it here? Cardstock pack. So it has Bermuda Bay, Lemon Lime Twist, and Peekaboo Peach. So we're using those colors. And then the Picture Perfect Designer Series paper, the Stampin' Spots, and then I didn't do the ribbon because the ribbon actually never made it out because of an issue with the supplier. So we're using those products to come up with 3 cards that we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to start with the one I made first. So if you're following along with me and you have this, so I just want to make sure you guys can all hear me. It sounds like you can because you're all commenting. So that's good. So let's go ahead and get started with the first card. And honestly, when I first saw this paper, I really was like, when I saw it in the catalog, I'm like, I don't really think I like it. So, but I really, really do now. So I'm also using the Picture Perfect Birthday stamp set. So that's the stamp set I'm using. So I'm using all one coordination, one product bundle, and that way it kind of limits the possibilities and makes it a lot easier for you to focus on what you're making, because it limits the tools and colors and papers and things. I find sometimes I go into overwhelm if I look at all of my supplies and all of my stamps and all of my inks, because I just don't know where to begin, and it ends up in paralysis. So with this, I've narrowed down by using the suite of collections, a suite of products rather. So if you got the kits from me, I sent you a little bit of the sequins. You're going to use these on all 3 cards, so just kind of keep those handy. So first up, we're going to go ahead and fold our Whisper White cardstock in half. This is measuring 5.5 by 8.5, and then you fold it in half. So that will give us our card base. And I happen to have, since I cleaned my desk kind of earlier today, I have my handy dandy little bone folder here with me. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that. All right, so I'm also going to use the Peekaboo Peach as my layer. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to layer one color on top of a card base and leave just that little 1/4 of an inch, or actually I think it's 1/8 of an inch, around the, around the edge. So this paper here measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I know that because I do it all the time. Also, I wanted to tell you while we're looking at this color, which is part of this suite, is called Peekaboo Peach, and it's one of the 5 in colors that's retiring this May. It will be all gone, and I'll show you the other colors. So we have Peekaboo Peach, okay, that's Peekaboo Peach, Flirty Flamingo, Emerald Envy, Sweet Sugar Plum, and Dapper Denim. So those will all be retiring this May, the end of May, and we'll get 5 new in colors in the new annual catalog in June. However, the reason why I'm telling you this now is because if you like any of these colors, or you own any of these colors, and you don't have the refills or as much cardstock as you need, the ink pads, the markers, any of the coordinating embellishments, you want to get those now, like preferably this week, because what happens, or actually you could probably even wait till next week too, but what happens is the retirement list is released usually in April sometime. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be released, but that will be released sometime in April, and once that's released, those go super, super fast. So you'll want to make sure you get them now, because once they're on the last chance list, they are they sell out within a couple of days, and they're no longer guaranteed. So if you order them now and they run out, they will be guaranteed to ship to you when they have them. But if you wait till they're on back order, or when they go on the retirement list, then they may or may not actually be around for very long, so you might miss out. So definitely, if any of those colors are your favorite, or if you have the ink pads but not the refills, or you don't have the markers yet or anything like that, be sure to stock up on those now. So again, it's Dapper Denim, Sweet Sugar Plum, Emerald Envy, Flirty Flamingo, and Peekaboo Peach. Okay, so let's go back to our card now. So as I was saying, we're using the Peekaboo Peach. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. And I meant to tell you too, if you're following along with me, you're going to want a simple like birthday stamp set, just an all-inclusive one. I looked for something that had greetings and some background stuff that we could stamp with. So you'll want to try and find something like that. I'm also going to use the little candle, so you may want a little birthday element or two as well. And the colors I'm using is Memento Black, so the Memento Tuxedo Black, Bermuda Bay, Peekaboo Peach, Lemon Lime Twist, and Berry Burst. So those are the colors I'm using. Like I said, Peekaboo Peach, I'm going to grab a little block here so I can put together. I'm going to take the confetti from this stamp set, and we're going to use that in the background. Actually, it's not confetti. It's sprinkles or jimmies, depending on where in the states you are. I call them sprinkles. Well, I don't know. I don't even remember what I used to call them. I think we used to call them as jimmies as kids, but I don't even remember now because I got made fun of for so long for the way I said it, but now I don't remember how I said it, so I don't really remember what the real way or my real way is. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take that little sprinkles. Oh, I guess it's sprinkles because that's what I went to naturally. And we're just going to randomly stamp those on one side of this Peekaboo Peach. So again, if you want to join me and actually stamp along with me, this measures 4 by 5 1/4. And if you got the kits in the mail from doing an order earlier this month, then you just want to grab yourself a birthday set of some sort, or any set really. You just want something that has some greetings and some items that you could use as embellishments or detail items on your page. So you need greetings, and you just need some background stamps like this, and then also I'm going to use the candles from this set. So you'll need some sort of element to use as a focal point on a card. So that's all I'm going to do for this. I'm going to set that aside for a second. We're using this Picture Perfect Designer Series paper. So again, one side's kind of photographic, and the other side is just a graphic pattern. So we're going to use the candles on this one. And you may have different candles than me if you got the kit. So actually, I probably could have used this on the other side, but it doesn't really matter. It's all good. I'm going to keep it over here, which is the way I designed the original one. And I also gave you in the kit, if you got the kit, the ribbon border punch already punched. So I used this punch, which is really fun. I used this one to punch this out for you. It's, I don't have the item code actually handy because I forgot to do that, but it's in the big catalog, the annual catalog. And I'm going to use actually the thin scallop side of this instead of the ribbon side. So we're going to use just a little tiny scallop to stick out on the edge. Okay, so let me grab my adhesive. Oh, and you know what I did? I forgot to grab extra adhesive before I started the video, but I think I have a workaround, so we'll be okay, because I might run out of that. I knew I'd forget something. It's just inevitable. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just attach this on top of and it's actually really easier if I put it on the table instead of did this in the air, but you know, I like a challenge. Okay, so there we go. Whoop, this side scooched. Just getting a little bit of that to show. Okay, there we go. So you can see there's a little bit of a border there. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape this down to the base that I already did. So just add a little bit of tape here, and we will stick that down. Cute little candles. Trying to get it lined up. I swear I didn't drink, but I'm doing everything kind of crooked today. All right, so let's go ahead and actually we'll go ahead and tape this down. Now you're going to need, if you're stamping along with me, you're going to need a little circle punch, oval punch, or die, or some sort of shape is what I used. I used the Stitch Shapes framelets. So I did this little framelit guy. And I'm going to go ahead and use black ink. And we're going to do the long greeting, which is, where's my block? Here it is. So it says, today we celebrate wonderful, brilliant, fabulous you. So because I'm using the Memento black ink, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get a little bit of pressure on that. You don't want to push too hard, but this is a felt-based ink pad instead of a foam-based, so you can put a little bit of pressure on that. Make sure you get it fully inked, and I don't know that this ink pad is well inked or not. So I'm actually going to do the old switcheroo and do it this way. Okay, So I think that should be good. And then I'm going to stamp it right in the middle of my stitched shape circle. Say that 5 times without saying something else. Okay, there we go. Perfect. There, let me cover the black ink so I don't have any mistakes. And I'm going to use a little bit of dimensionals. Oops, and I forgot to get a full pack of those. I'm down to all of these little bits and pieces, but they work just fine. Grab my scissors and we'll cut some of these off. We'll start on this side. Okay. I'm just going to cut up the edges. I like to cut them into little bits when I use the edges, just so that they're all ready for me, and I don't have to worry about that when I'm ready to grab them. So I'll take a minute to do that. Alright. So let's go ahead and grab a couple of those and put those down here. And this is a super, super simple card, because you'll see I'm just about ready to finish it already. So there is the finished card. Oh, except we need to add a little bit of some bling. So those little self-adhesive Tutti Frutti self-adhesive sequins are here. I swear I wasn't drinking, but I can't seem to get my words out straight today. There we go. And I'm going to put 3 of those here. Generally, you want to work in thirds, so in threes is generally a good design principle. Create a little triangle. So there is card number 1. Very simple, very easy, but again, we're using all the colors that coordinate with the paper and the suite that we started with, so it makes creating it really easy because everything's already thought out for you. All right, so that is card number 1. What do we think? Do we like that one? I'm going to show you a couple of other designs with this stamp set. So here's another one using the Tutti Frutti mini striped ribbon and the same paper and the same color. So this is the Berry Burst, which we'll use in a second. And this time I added a little sparkle instead. And then this one's kind of a fun one. This was not my design, but I loved it. It was my friend Rhonda Wade's. But how cute is this? So you're using the paper. We just cut it up into little pieces and created a little kind of mosaic sort of look with long strips. Same ribbon, the little mini chevron, or mini stripe, I think it's called, lemon lime twist ribbon, and a little glitter, because glitter is always fun. All right, so let's go do our next card, which we'll do, I haven't been showing you. I like to surprise you, because then I'm hoping you'll stick around. So, oh, Christine, I'm glad you liked it. All right, so we're going to go ahead, and this time we're using lemon lime twist. So this measures, again, 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to fold that in half. So this is actually a full sheet of cardstock cut in half. So imagine that this was one sheet of 8.5 by 11. So you take it on the long side, the 11-inch side, and you're going to cut it right at 5.5. And that gives you 2 card bases to work from. So let's go ahead, and now I mixed up my envelopes. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me stick this one aside here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm thinking now that I should have posted earlier, for those of you that don't have the kits, I should have posted earlier what you would need, some general supplies that you could implement if you wanted to stamp along with me. Next month, I will try and do that. So as I said, I'm going to try and do this live class once a month, and I will try and remind you ahead of time what kinds of supplies you'll need so you can actually stamp with me if you'd like. All right, so first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take again, we're using the same stamp set, so I'm using that same stamp set for the whole class, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday. So I think sometimes we think a little bit limited with our stamps, and we think we have to, you know, Happy Birthday, that would have to be as a sentiment. But one of the things I love to do more recently is to use the text stamps to do backgrounds. So it adds kind of a typography look. I'm going to go ahead and just stamp Happy Birthday a couple of times. Not anything really orderly or neat. I'm just going to kind of do a couple times over here, and I'm going to do a couple times down here. So don't be afraid to use your sentiment stamps as a background on a card, because there's no reason why you can't. All right, so I'm using the lemon lime twist. on the lemon lime cardstock. So it makes coordination super easy when you pick all of the same colors. All right, next up, I put in the kits. This Berry Burst piece is 1.5 by 4. So if you're playing along with me and you have a couple of pattern papers, you want one that's 1.5 by 4 and one that's 2 by 3.5. And I'm going to take, because I didn't bring my triple banner punch over here, I'm going to go ahead and take my scissors and just cut in the center. And I'm going to go from corner to center and corner to center. And then you have a little banner. So there's one. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. Cut in the center and corner to center and corner to center. Sorry if I'm going out of the screen. All right, there we go. Come on. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. I kind of cut that weird. Okay, so there we have that. And I'm going to go ahead and tape one of these down here. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and tape the other one kind of overlapping. And I'm going to stick that. Oh, I kind of went a little high on that. I wonder if I can pull it down, maybe. Maybe, maybe not. And we're going to leave it. I'll just wing it. I didn't mean to leave that much room, but we'll fill it with some bling. It's okay. And I kind of missed over here. So let's go ahead and just stamp another happy birthday here. There. Okay, even that out a little bit. Can always fix everything, right? There's no mistakes in stamping. All right, and then I gave you, if you've got the kits, I gave you a piece of the black baker's twine. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to actually not cut the end. I'm going to go ahead and loop this and tie a little bow as a double bow because it's going to have 2 strings at once. And then now that I've got that tied, I'm going to cut these. I just find it easier to tie it that way, but that's me. And then I'm just going to shrink down this bow by pulling on the ends to the size that I want, because I want it to kind of be positioned up here, which I think that looks pretty good. So then I'll take my ribbon scissors and cut those off. Did any of you have a mother that used to have the ribbon scissors for her sewing room? And like, I remember clear as day, my mom always screaming at me because I'd go to cut paper or cut whatever I was playing with using her nice heavy duty, ribbon scissors. Well, now I totally get it, Mom, because I guard those things with my life, because if they get sticky or anything, they just don't cut ribbon very well. So I get it now. So those were her fabric scissors, and I used to get in trouble all the time because I'd be trying to cut crazy stuff with it. All right, so now I'm going to take a glue dot, mini glue dot. I'm going to take this bow, push down on that, and when you pull off, the glue dot comes off on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that down here. Okay, and I think I need to fix those little ends a little bit more. They're a little wonky. Whoop! Oh, look what I did. I pulled there we go, the actual bow part. There. Okay. Perfect. Get that out of the way. So we're getting there. Can you start to see the start of a card here? Okay. Then what we're going to do is, I'm just measuring something here because I think I forgot to grab one thing, but it's right handy, so I can grab that in a second. I'm going to grab my Berry Burst marker and my black marker, which I forgot to grab ahead of time, but it should be right here. Yep. So basic black and Berry Burst. You can use whatever colors you want, but of course I'm using the color scheme that is in the suite that we were using from the beginning. And I'm going to grab this birthday greeting. It says, "Happiest of birthdays to you." And I will grab a block. So if you have the photopolymer stamps, a lot of people tend to put their stamps on this way. And without even realizing it, we tend to stretch them out when we do that because we kind of push them. And that actually distorts the image when you do that. So when you're attaching your photopolymer stamps, you want to put it face down on the table and then bring your block to the stamp. Okay? Just a little tip for you. And now we're going to do something so that we can get a variety of colors. So see how in this one, whoops, I'm trying to get it so it's not a little bit fuzzy. But anyway, you can kind of see. I'm using Berry Burst and the basic black. So obviously we don't have a stamp pad that would allow you to ink that really quickly. So I'm going to use my markers to do that. So let me show you how I did that. I like to start with the darker color first, because if I get it on the non-dark color words, I can wipe it off easier. And I'm going to just do the of and to you in the black. I want the really fancy font to be in the berry color, in the bright pop of color. So when you're coloring with your markers, you want to make sure you're using the side of your tip. Don't color like this, because you'll make the edge of your marker, the tip of your marker, super fuzzy, and then it won't be able to color within the lines anymore. Alright, so there we did that. Now I'm going to take the Berry Burst, and again I'm going to use the paintbrush side, and this time I'm just going to color the happiest and birthdays. So again, I'm using the side of my marker so that I don't ruin the tip of it. And then I'm going to color that all the way across. Now this stamp isn't huge, so most likely the ink will all still be pretty wet and be able to stamp right away, but I'm just going to give it a quick breather. I'm going to breathe on it slightly just to kind of re-moisten any of the ink that may have dried in the time that I was coloring. And then we're just going to stamp it right in the middle of the white. And you'll see now I have the two different shadings. Alright, so next up we're going to take, oh bummer, and it's not here. Well, imagine that, I thought it would be right in my, I think it's still packed from card class. So imagine that I just cut this little circle with my 2-inch circle punch, and then I would take my black ink here, and I'm going to go ahead and just blot it in the ink pad, and then I'll drag it along the edge with my Stampin' Sponge, and then I can just kind of ink the edges to get the finished look, which is this. So once I did that, I punched it with the circle, and then I edged it with the black ink, and I popped it onto the card with the dimensionals. So those were the little foam things here. And then I added my 3 little Berry Burst sequins. I love those things. They actually come, I'll show you, they actually come with a set of 5, I think. So you get the soft sky color, you get the like lemony color, you get the burst color that I've been using all night, you get the orange color, and then you also get, what was the other color? Oh, the lemon lime twist, so it matches the card base. So those are really fun. You get all of them in together, and I've been using a ton of those. I just think they're so fun, and I love the look of sequins, but they can be a pain in the butt if you have to add them to the card individually. So those are really, really fun. All right, so let me show you a couple more cards that we're not making with this set, but are using the same stuff. So here's another one that's really cute, using that lemon lime twist as the background. This is that paper again. I love this one. It actually adds a lot of punch to the card. And then this one, I happen to use that same ribbon. Again, the mini stripe chevron ribbon, and of course a little bling, and some added bling here. And then I have another one for you. This again wasn't my design, but I borrowed it from a friend, and I love it. So here you can see the lemon lime twist sequence. And I just snipped the paper here to create a little fringe look. And I tied some of the celebration ribbon to the front here. Again, using the Berry Burst and the lemon lime twist and Berry Burst here. So you're using all the stuff from the stamp set, and you are using all the same color scheme. So again, it makes creating really, really easy because you don't have to think about it. All right, on to our last card. How are we doing? Everybody doing okay? What do we think? Do we like this sweet? I am going to grab one of my favorite colors, which is this is Bermuda Bay. So again, we're starting with 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to fold that in half to make my card base. And we'll go ahead and crease that. And you have the card base here. And I'm going to take those sprinkles out again because we used them on the first card, but I'm going to use them again. So I'm going to take out my stamping scrub because I want to clean off the Peekaboo Peach that we used on it last time, because I'm going to switch to Bermuda Bay. So let me grab my little stamping scrub. We'll spritz one side. Oops, and I actually spritzed the wrong side, but whatever. It's all good. And then I'll dry on the other. I'm just going to stamp it out so I don't get any residue from being on the wrong side. Okay, now we're going to grab our Bermuda Bay ink. So we're doing the same thing. I've got my Bermuda Bay ink with my Bermuda Bay cardstock, or vice versa. I said that backwards, but you know what you mean. Or you know what I mean, not you mean. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually do a landscape card this time. And I'm going to take the little jimmies or sprinkles, whatever we shall call them, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this kind of in this upper corner, and then again down the bottom here. So, I'm just doing random. We're not going to see a whole lot of it, but there, that looks good. Okay, so next step, I included in your kits, if you got the kits, I gave you a lemon lime twist piece that is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then I used a pattern piece that's 3 by 3. So again, I love this paper because one side, this was the balloons, so one side's kind of photographic, and then the other side is sort of a pattern or geometric pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and attach those together. We're just going to layer that together, and then I'm going to layer that on the card. So we'll put that down, and we will now put this flat onto the card in the middle, like that. Oh no, I did it right. Okay. Did you ever have that moment when you tape something down and you're like, oh, I did that wrong, but I didn't. Just tricked you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, and this is one of the small circles from the stitched shape circles. I'm going to stick that right in the middle here too. I think this one is my favorite card. We'll see if this is your favorite too. Now that I just told you, it's going to make you feel like you have to say that, but you don't. You can tell me whichever one was your favorite. I won't get offended. All right, so next up, oops, my dimensionals are stuck to my stamp case. There we go. Out of control. Okay, you could only see the desk right now. You'd understand why that was happening. Okay, it's a good thing it's a very small space. You can see I look so neat and orderly. Which, if you know me at all, you know that is not the case. All right, so I'm going to take, I love this sentiment. It says, cue the confetti. So I'm taking the Memento Black ink again. I'm going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it on this berry burst piece. So if you're stamping along with me, this one is 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and stamp that kind of right in the middle here. And again, it's the felt-based ink pad, so you want to give it a little bit of a push to make sure you get full contact with the paper, and you can see that came out just like I wanted. I'm going to use my scissors again to cut the banner end. If you hang out with me for any length of time, you'll realize this is one of my favorite tricks. You can use the triple banner punch. You just have to be careful because a lot of times I'll cut the paper to a certain size for card class, but when you use it, it actually kind of shrinks the paper, so sometimes it makes the paper no longer long enough for the sentiment you wanted, so you kind of have to account for the loss of about, I think it's like a half, I don't know if it was a half an inch or an inch when it actually cuts it. So sometimes it's easier for me to just do it with my scissors. I've been doing it for so long that it's become an easy peasy kind of thing to do. All right, so next up, we're going to go ahead and stamp a little element for our card. So one of the cute little aspects of this stamp set, I've got 9 million blocks over here going on, but yeah, this will work. I'm going to use the So there, you can see these three little, they look like just little inch stripes and polka dots in a bar, but they are actually candles. So I'm going to take the bar, as I just called it, and we're going to go ahead and, my blocks are really dirty, sorry. We're going to go ahead and stamp that in the Bermuda Bay, but we're going to do a technique called stamping off. So instead of going right from my card, from my ink pad to my paper, I'm going to stamp on my grid paper, my scrap paper first. So I'm inking this up. I'm going to stamp it here, and then I'm going to stamp it on my cardstock. And you'll see why I do that in a second, because we're going to do a little bit of layering on these. So next up, I'm going to stamp again, do another one, and finally the last one. Okay, now while I've got that out, let me clean that off quickly. And then we're going to switch, and we're going to use one of the striped bar there that I was calling it, the striped candle. And we're going to create kind of like the traditional candle look. I don't know if you remember those like swirly candles when we were kids. That's what this looks like to me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and ink this up again in the Bermuda Bay, but this time I'm not going to stamp off. I'm going to go right to my candle. Hopefully I can get this lined up right, because it's really hard, because normally I would put my head right where the camera is. So, ooh, look at that. Ooh, ooh. I love when that works. Okay, I'm going to do that again. See if I can do 3 for 3. What do you think? Anyone want to take bets? Okay, 2 for 2. One more. Let's see if I can get this one. It's really hard because I want to put my head right where my phone is. I missed a little bit. Like, as we went along, I missed just a tiny bit on the last two, but that's okay. Not a biggie. Alright, so now I'm going to take, let me clean off this little block here. And I'm going to put the confetti, not the confetti, the jimmies away. And we're going to switch to this little candle image. So now we can actually add the candle top. So for this one, I did pull in one other color just because flame kind of needs to be yellow. So I pulled in my Daffodil Delight. And I think this was kind of a light ink pad. So yeah, I don't need to stamp off, because it really needs to be re-inked and it hasn't been yet, so I'm just going to go right to my paper rather than stamping it on the grid paper first. So there's one. Whoops, let me go up in the corner here. And 2. I really love this stamp set. It's super cute. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but it's really fun. Again, I'll show it to you here. It's called It's called Picture Perfect Birthday. I'm using the thing called Cue the Confetti, but it's got really cute. And this, so you can line this up so that those little holes match this hole. And so that way it looks like it's 3-dimensional. It's really cute. I didn't do it on any of these cards, so I can't really show it to you at the moment. Alright, next up, we're going to go ahead and cut these out. So that'll just take me a second. And yes, I did fussy cut them. When I fussy cut, I do like to leave a little bit of an edge around them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm leaving about like, what, 1/8 of an inch or something like that around this. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut. Whoops, I kind of got close to the flame a little bit. Again, it's hard to see because the camera is reflecting and it's creating a shadow on where I'm cutting, but it's all good. It's homemade, right? Okay, so there's one. I'm gonna cut this one. And you know what else I just realized too? Is my mini dimensionals are also in my card class bag. I really should have unpacked that today, apparently. I thought I had pulled everything I needed, but we'll improvise. As we did with the last one when I realized I was missing my punch. So as you may know, through March 31st, if you order $50 with Stampin' Up, you get to earn a freebie, a celebration freebie. I will post those. I've been posting them all week, actually, so if you go back on the page, you can see a bunch of them. Just scroll back past a few days. There's 2. So that is always fun when you get freebies, and that just lasts till the end of March. And if you find you have a lot of Stampin' Up! Things, one of the best deals in the books is the starter kit. And that is $125 worth of product of your choice for just $99 plus tax. You get free shipping. And right now, through March 31st, you get to pick 2 additional stamp sets of any value for free. So you could pick this really cute Cue the Confetti. I keep calling it that. That's not what it's called. I want to rename it. It's called Picture Perfect Birthday, but it's a really cute one. So, all right, so there we go. We've got our 3 candles, okay? And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tape 2 of these down on either side like that, just flat. So we can go ahead and do that. Just using a little bit of adhesive. I'm kind of doing them a little bit crooked. And on purpose. One, because it releases the stress of people feeling like, oh, it's not straight. Doesn't need to be. Okay. I'm going to kind of put them a little close together. And then 2, just because I kind of think it looks cute. All right. So this is what I was, oh, I didn't put them close enough. We can pick that up. I'm going to put them a little bit closer. Okay. No mistakes in stamping. All right. I wanted my little mini dimensional so I could layer that on top. We have the new mini ones, but these will work fine too. So I'm just going to cut. Actually, the edges will work great. I'm going to cut one of these and put that here. Put it on the bottom there, and I can just use one more for the little candle part so it doesn't sag. Don't want any sagging. Okay. Put that down, and then we peel off our backing. And we're going to put that right in the middle here. Like that. Okay, next step, I put a little bit of tape in the center of my Cue the Confetti banner that we did earlier. And I'm going to actually put some dimensional on either side because this part's raised, so this will attach to the raised part, but we just need to kind of even it out and put dimensional on either side so it will not fall off. And let's do that here. Peel those off, and we're going to stick this right across the middle of the candles. I think it's just, I think it's me, I don't know, maybe not, but I feel like this is crooked, but it's too late to fix that. Okay, so again, it's homemade, right? So I'm going to take my Wink of Stella, my New England accent is coming out here. I'm going to go ahead and paint a little bit of glitter on the candles. If you don't have a Wink of Stella pen, oh my god, I can't say that tonight. You need one because it's so much fun. Okay, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but I'll pick it up in a second. These are only $8 and they add a lot of punch to a card. So it's a really fun item to have. I got my hair in here. Oops. Okay, so let me put this up to see if you guys can see it. I don't know if it'll show in the camera. I can't. It looks blurry. Oh, there we go. Can you see that? I don't know if I can. It's a little delayed on my iPad, on my tablet, so I can't tell if you can see it or not. But if not, just trust me. That's nice and glittery. So then the last step with that is to add our little self-adhesive sequins. So I'm going to drop a couple over here. And again, I just kind of like to do haphazard. I usually work in 3s or uneven numbers generally. It's just a better design principle. So there we go. We have that finished card. So now you can see all 3 of the finished cards. So we have that one, we had this one, and we had this one. So you can tell me below which one was your favorite. Like I said, I think this one, without my hair, that's really bugging me. I'm going to have to cut that out. Oh, I got it. That one is, I think, my favorite, but I'd love to hear which one is yours. So if you decide that you need to order something before the end of celebration, make sure you go to my website, and I have that here. And let me put that out here. And you can check out all of the items you can get for free. So just a $50 order, and you can get anything in this catalog for free, or in this one. So be sure to check out the website for that. And also, if you use this host code when you're ordering, even though it's still March, if you order before April, I think our next live event will be Wednesday, April 25th. So I need to get the kits out the Friday before. So I would need to cut off orders by 24, 23, 22, 21, 20th. Sorry, I should have, no, that doesn't make sense. It's the 19th. Nope. 18th. Sorry. Okay. So by the 18th, if you order it by April 18th and use this code, I will send you the card kits for next month's Facebook Live, so you can actually stamp along with me. And hopefully next time I will remember, because I didn't think of it until we were in the middle of the video this time. I didn't think of actually kind of giving you a little list of things to have handy when you're stamping, so that you would be ready to go with me and you could actually stamp along with me. So, oh, Chris, I'm glad you like the Bermuda Bay one too. I just love this whole like series. Like, it's just so pretty. And I actually have one more that I was going to show you. This one is also not mine. This one was actually a swap. I love being a demonstrator because we get to swap ideas, and this was from Kelly Atchison, and she made this one, and isn't that really fun too? I love the colors and the patterns, and the mixing of the pattern paper with the photographic paper really works nicely. Oh, Amy, I'm glad you like the third one too. That one's definitely my favorite. I saved it for last on purpose for that reason. So here's another one that you could use, and she did the cute little confetti here. So it's really a fun stamp set. I love the paper. It's really cute. Like I said, whenever you get overwhelmed, which for me, I have so much stuff, as I'm sure some of you do too. I have so many things that sometimes it's kind of hard to get inspired when you've got so much to work with. So try using these little you can make it sections of the catalog, because that's what I based mine off of. I took the cardstock, the pattern paper, the designer series paper, and the Stampin' Spots is what they said, but I basically just used the colors from that and created my cards from that basic toolkit, so I wasn't overwhelmed with everything else that might be on my plate. And if you could see my table, you would realize that there's a lot on my plate. So again, if you have anything else you need, it's a great time to do it before the end of March 31st, or the end of March, because we have Celebration going till then, so you get a freebie with every $50 you spend. And if you order by April, I keep getting it confused, 19 through 22, so 22, 21, 20, yeah, so April 20th was the right date. If you order by April 20th, you will get next month's card kits in the mail for free if you use this host code. However, I will tell you, don't use the code if your order is 150 or more, because then you qualify for host benefits, and I want to make sure you get those. So that would be the best thing to do. All right, so thank you so much for watching. If there's any questions or anything, please feel free to comment below. Teresa, I'm glad you were inspired. Hopefully you have some of these fun toys to play with. And yes, the photographic paper is amazing. Like I said, it's really kind of funny because when I first started, I was like, I don't really like that. It wasn't my style. It wasn't my thing. But when you actually see them in action, so here I'll pull some of those cards back in. They just look so pretty. Let me move that to the top. Yeah, so there's some really fun ways to use it. I'll bring those back. The like this one is really cute. This one I think is one of my favorites for that one. It's really cute. So yeah, it's definitely a great suite, and like I said, it makes it so easy to create if you just start with those basics. So hopefully you liked the 3 cards we did tonight. And as always, if you have any questions or if I can help you with anything, please let me know, and I would be happy to help. All right, have a great night. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you on Wednesday, April 25th for the next live workshop. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.